Jack Gilligan's political career was at times a paradox.
Jack's strength and weakness was that he told you what he really felt was right, whether you wanted to hear it or not.
And that made for an eventful career in politics.
I've had my share of bumps along the road.
You know, he was beaten more often than many of us would care to think about.
He wasn't content just to do things and to make sure he got reelected. As you know, he did not get reelected. He ran once and got elected, got defeated for reelection. So he has always taken a position that he will speak to what he feels he needs to speak to.
And what do people like to say about the governor?
This guy is really sharp. He is absolutely brilliant.
The committed liberal.
Very handsome man.
He is a man, I think, of great modesty.
Always very stylish dresser.
He's got a wonderful sense of humor.
His intelligence, his humor, his integrity, his courage.
He was always first and last a teacher.
He really is at the top of the list of those who have been in public service in the state, and certainly at the top of the list for Ohio governors.
He's a very gutsy guy.
As he puts it, Jack Gilligan's early career yo-yoed between the world of politics and education, but his training as a Xavier University English literature professor served him well in advocating education reform as governor of Ohio.
Well, it's a kind of a twisted path, but and none of it I planned. I just dove in and swam around. I taught at Xavier when I came out of the Navy finally. And I had a year leave to finish my doctoral degree. And I got an invitation to run for city council. And I thought, well, I'll run in the fall and lose and finish the dissertation in the spring and be back teaching again the following fall. And to my surprise and the horror of at least half of Cincinnati, I won.
During those years, I made a number of key decisions about parking under Fountain Square, to build a vibrant downtown, issues involving business growth and making sure that the city was thriving.
10 years on city council was followed with a brief stint in Congress that ended when Republicans redrew his district and a failed attempt at a seat in the Senate. Undaunted, Gilligan persevered in politics and won the governorship of Ohio in 1970, defeating Republican Roger Cloud.
I can only say that for a whole lot of reasons, the state of Ohio was in desperate shape when I was elected to the office of governor.
He initiated the income tax in Ohio. Ohio never had an income tax before 1971, and yet we were like 49th in the states on spending for education and way behind on health services and others. So we were proudly but mistakenly a low tax state. Well, we had to do something about that. And he knew that that would be a political liability to increase taxes, to initiate a new tax, but he felt it had to be done. And he was right.
In addition to implementing the state income tax as a way to finance public education, as governor, Jack led reforms in mental health, transportation infrastructure, and environmental concerns.
We really accomplished a lot in the 4 years I was governor, and some of it was good fortune, some of it was hard work, some of it was due to factors beyond our control.
Despite his success in Columbus, Jack lost his re-election bid in 1974 to former Governor James Rhodes.
I never really approached politics as a win-lose game, like you're playing badminton or something. It was always with the idea of promoting certain ideas and certain goals.
After his term as governor, Jack was appointed administrator of the Agency for International Development by President Jimmy Carter and served as director of the Institute for Public Policy before returning to teach at Notre Dame.
When he came back to Cincinnati after a career at Notre Dame, Nearing 80, when most of us would sit down and relax, he wanted to again contribute to government, and so he ran for and was elected to the school board.
He was like Rip Van Winkle. It was just as though he had come back and opened his eyes and taken a look around and thought, well, we've got a lot of work to do here.
People thought I was insane, and maybe I was, but I still believe education is the most important single activity that one can be involved in.
He's ending his political career with service on the Cincinnati School Board, trying to make sure that the schools stay healthy and alive. We can't have a great city without great schools, so I think at the bookends of his service certainly were focused on the city he loved so well.
Through it all, Jack was never one to belie his Irish ancestry.
One of the very first things that endeared me to Jack was his Irish wit. Now, being of the tribe, I perfectly understand it.
He pushed, but he pushed in that wonderful Irish way that he can do it.
I think all of us in our hometowns are following his example of, rolling up your sleeves, getting to work, bringing people together, and making the community a better place.
This is a life that really has made a difference.
And keep going, Jack. That's the main message.
And now presenting a great living Cincinnatian, John J. Gilligan.